Hey there lovelies, and welcome back to my screen once again. So in today's lesson I'll be teaching you a simple strategy that made me almost $2,000 a day. Like, this is also a very simple strategy. If you know me, then you should know that I usually do more of trend line, support and resistance, Fibonacci retracement level combined with smart money, some price action. You know, that is what most of you know me for. But there are other strategies I have not yet taught on YouTube. There are some secret and hidden strategies I use that I have not yet taught on YouTube. So if you are glued to my YouTube channel, then you'll be learning a lot from me. You'll be tapping from my knowledge as well. So stay glued to this channel, and if you've not subscribed yet, hit on that subscribe button because I have a lot of content I'll be releasing on this channel. And also, like I said, I did a very simple analysis on pound JPY and I made almost $2,000 on this pair. And I'm not going to go my normal way where I use trend line, support and resistance and the rest. No, not at all. Today we are going to be using a different strategy, and I promise you that if you stay on till the end of this video, you are going to learn something new. So stay here and let's all learn something new from this video. So without wasting much time, let's continue with our topic for the day. So like I thought in my previous video, I already told you guys the current trend of pound JPY. So we all know pound JPY is moving in an uptrend. So if you've not watched that video, that is the link up there. You can just click on it and watch why I said pound JPY is moving in an uptrend. Now in an uptrend, we look for double bottoms, and in a downtrend, we look for double top. So at this side, this is pound JPY, and like I said, I'll be teaching you a simple strategy that made me almost $2,000. So let's get into it. Now we have our first leg here. We have our first leg here. So this is our first leg because this is already our double bottom. We have our double bottom here. This is the first bottom and this is the second bottom. So the first bottom is now our first leg, which is this one. Let me increase the lot size. Okay, so this is our first leg and our second leg to the other side. So this will now be our second leg. This is now our second leg, and our neckline is here. Our neckline is at this point. This is our neckline. So what are we going to do again? Because I have already spotted the double bottom. So how do I now enter? Like I said, we are in an uptrend. So anytime I say double bottom, I know that I am buying. And when I say double top, I know I am selling. So what else do I have to do from here? I just picked my rule. This is my rule. I just picked my rule. Measure from the first leg to the neckline, then I take the 50% of the rule. So this is my 50%. You can see this is the 50%. I think I should bold this line and change the color also. So let's have a red color, very bold, and this should be a bold. Let's use the black, the blue. No, let's use the black color and very bold as well. So this is our neckline. Just write that there. So we have our neckline here. We have our neckline, and this point is now our 50%. This zone is now our 50%. So right after this, what else will I do? Now price is in price has formed our double bottom. We have the 50%. We've also spotted the neckline. And how do we now enter from here? And this is us on the 4 hours. So how do we now enter from this double bottom? You have to move to the 1 hour and look for an entry. So this is us on the 1 hour time frame, and you already know this is our first leg. This is also our second leg, and there's nothing here giving me a signal of a buy to enter from here. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to wait for price to enter into, or I have to wait for price to see a price action, or to see a rejection, or to see that the bulls are coming into the market before I take a buy trade. Now let's look at something here. You see what is still happening. See what is still happening. We've not had anything that is telling us that we need to continue buying. Then immediately we had this rejection. We had this bullish rejection. You can see this. We had this rejection here. So this is an indecision candle. This candle over here is an indecision candle. So immediately I saw that, what I did was I just went for my long position to drop it here, and my SL a little below the indecision candlestick. Okay, then my take profit to the first 50%. So this is my take profit to the first 50%. So you can see what is happening here. Our first take profit is already triggered. So our first take profit is already triggered. The first 50% take profit is already triggered. So what else will I do again? I would have to wait, because price can get here and there will be a reversal to the downside, because this is a support 10 resistance. This is also a turning point for this market. So it's possible that price will get there and there will be a reversal to the downside. That is why I am taking my first take profit here on the 50% level when we use our rule. So what I'll have to wait for is I'll have to wait for price to break out of this 50% for me to take the second entry. All right, so for me to take my second entry, I need to wait for this point to break. Okay, so that is what we are going to look for now. We have to wait and see if price will break this point first. So let's look at how price behaved around that. You can see that we have a kind of move to the downside. That's why I'm saying that this market, you can't predict this market, because price can get here and continue dropping. So the first thing you have to wait for is for price to break out. Now this is the breakout to the upside. So immediately the price breaks out, you can now take your second entry. Now this is what you can do. You can still keep your stop loss and take partial, or you bring your stop loss a little below this point, then your take profit to the neckline. So your stop loss will now be a little below this point, a little below the 50% line at this point. You can see what I'm doing, right? So your 50% your stop loss can be a little below this point, and then your take profit to the neckline. So you can see what is happening here. Now let's see the reaction of price. You see that price is moving into our take profit level. So like I said, this point can be a turning point for this market. So you take your 50% and wait for price to break out of the 50% with your confirmation. Then you can now enter the second position. So you can see price broke out, came back for a retest now on the 50%. You can see how price broke out, came back for a retest now on the 50%, and it started moving to the upside. So let's wait and see if price will get to our neckline. So you can see what is happening here. Price is moving nicely. Let's see if we would get to the neckline like I said. So you can see we are still moving nicely towards the neckline. Now when price gets to the neckline, what else do you have to do? You see price has gotten to the neckline and our take profit has been triggered. So this is another way you can also enter a double top or a double bottom. This strategy can also be used on a double bottom as well. Now the second thing you have to do right after price has gotten into the neckline is that you would have to wait for the neckline to break. Now when the neckline breaks, this is what you have to do. Immediately the neckline breaks, let me zoom this for you to see something here. Immediately the neckline breaks, you would go back for your rectangle, this rectangle here in your toolbar. You go back for the rectangle, measure from the first leg to the neckline again. So when you measure from the first leg to the neckline, you pick that same measurement from the neckline to You pick that same measurement from the neckline to wherever, I don't know, but this is what you have to do. You pick that same measurement, put it on the neckline. Now when you are done, you go back for your rule, pick your rule, measure the rectangle that you drew from the first leg to the neckline. You now measure it, the 50%. You now measure and take the 50% of that. Let me drop it here so you can see it clearly. So this is the rectangle. Now let's draw 50% of that rectangle. So this is our rectangle, and this is the 50% of the rectangle. This is now our 50%. We have our 50% level here. So when you see the 50%, you just share it into 2. So this is now our 50%. So if this is at the top here and this is our 50%, we wait for the neckline to break. When the neckline breaks, then you take your entry from the neckline to this 50% again. So the 50% now will not be your third take profit. Then right after the 50%, you take your third take profit. You wait for the 50% of this rectangle to break. Once the 50% breaks again, then you can now take your fourth take profit. So our third take profit will be here, and our fourth take profit would also be here. That is if we place it on top of the neckline. So you can see how simple this is. So this is some of the ways you can also trade a double top and a double bottom. So this is also another simple strategy you can use in trading a double top or a double bottom. And this is the strategy I used, but I took my profit at the neckline. I didn't go further than that. I only took my profit at the neckline because I don't want to be greedy. At least I've made my money, I've hit my targets for the day, and I need to be out of the market according to my trading plan. I hope you've learned something new. If you really learned something new from this video, then drop a comment in the comment section, hit on that like button, and also hit on the subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video, and bye.